Here we have a Mark 1 Golf GTI front hub. The gap here is 80mm and the brake disc that would normally sit on this is a 239. So I want to do is convert this to a really big diameter. So we're going to put a G60 brake or a 280mm brake disc on. And here it's the carrier that holds it. And you can see the holes definitely do not line up. So that's 80mm across, these are 100mm across. So yeah, definitely doesn't fit. Okay, what to do? Not really sure. Let's put a brake disc on first. So this is a G60 or 280mm brake disc across this way. So let's have a look now if we put the carrier on. So we're going to line everything up so that can just sit in there like that. You look down here, and okay, so the Mark 1 sits in here, but the G60 sits out here. So they kind of are and aren't in line. So that maybe if I turn that there, maybe they're kind of close enough this way, but they're definitely out this way. And we look underneath. So yeah, they're nowhere in line here. So that's all the way in here and it's out here. So it's definitely not going to fit, no matter what way we do or what alterations we do. So I bought this little adapter from Epytec. So that's the part number of it. There's two of them, one is silver and one is black, so I bought the black ones. I think there is a difference between them, but that's how they fit. So we're going to see how does this fit on the carrier. Okay, and that's how it fits on the carrier. So you can see there is a gap in there. And we're going to line this up that it fits on the hub. So of course it doesn't fit properly, so I've marked out the piece I've just cut with the angle grinder, just to give me a little bit more space, and then it'll all fit in. Okay, let's try that. Oh, okay, we have to cut this off here as well because it's just not going to line up, but we're getting close. Okay, when in doubt, chop it out. So we've given it a decent chop there, and that's going to go underneath there. I'm going to line it up. So that goes there. That hole's got, there's something else going wrong here. Oh, okay. We might have to give that a chop. Okay, now that I've given it a chop underneath, now let's line everything up. So that lines up there. That seems to be lining up down there-ish. There we go. There and there. All seems to be good, so let's run a bolt into it and see how it looks. Okay, check that out. So we have to clearance it just there. That's all now finger tight or hand tight, but it all looks pretty good. It looks like it should all be in the right place. So let's disassemble this now again, put the disc on and see how it's all lining up. Okay, and somehow the vise has changed color. So 1 year later, finally getting that back to this project. So yeah, we have a blue vise. We have the new carrier and caliper. I had the wrong carrier on it. So there was a big tooth kind of sticking out here and here. So these are the correct ones. Just by chance I picked up the wrong ones for the video. So that's why it didn't work. So yeah, these are proper G60s. The way you know it's the G60 is they have this dimple here where a 256 will not have it. This is the right carrier because there's a big gap here and everything is correct. So anyway, it's now finally on, finally getting back to the project. And it looks really well. I'm really happy how it's all bolted up. So we're going to put all of these on. This is the old disc. Going to take off the old disc, put the brand new discs on. So let's get at it. So like a true man, I didn't read the instructions and they did give me smaller bolts, so I didn't actually need to cut those bolts. They also gave me shims. What the shims do is between this piece of metal here at the top and there's a piece of there at the bottom, you can see just where my finger is. So between there and there, if it's too tight or catching on the disc when you're turning it, you can add the shims in, which will actually increase it or decrease it, depending which way, how many shims are you add or subtract. So that's what the shims do. I don't think I'm going to need them, but if I do, I can add them in. So the other thing to be aware of is the pads. The pads come in two different sizes. They come between 15 to 17 mil, or they can get them from 19 onwards. If you get the really thick ones, they won't fit, so you have to get the 17 mil is the minimum that you can get. I think the 15mm pads would be far better. Just give you that little bit of clearance. So one of the advantages of building a brand new hub is I can put the hub on the vise, put the wheel on it, mock up all the brakes and everything, and check for clearance. And at the moment there is nothing, it won't even move. So let's rethink this. Okay, so the cheap way to get this piece here to go further back is put a brand new pad at the back and put a used pad at the front. So that'll actually, it'll equal the distance between the two of them, or average the distance between the two brake pads. So it'll actually push this backwards because the brake piston will take up the slack in between. Okay, now one small brake disc in the front and one big one at the back. So that'll shove the actual caliper further back, just give you that little bit of clearance. And yeah, it's still not going around, it's still very stuck. So this is a Lucas G60 caliper. Going underneath. So underneath, you can see it kind of there. It's a bit difficult to see, but there's absolutely no room. So thankfully we have a Girling G60 caliper. We're going to try that next. So the last caliper was a Lucas. This is now a Girling. It's upside down, but it does say Girling on it. So let's give this a go, because I noticed that this is a lot smoother, a lot flatter here, where the Lucas kind of goes down and up again. They still have the ridges back here, so we don't know where we're going to get caught or not, but it's a lot smoother and a lot flatter. I'm using one new brake pad, one used brake pad, just for clearance, just to see if I can get away with it, or can I use the two brand new pads. Is there loads of room? So we're going to find out that next. All right, great success. This is brilliant. So the wheel is now turning. There is a gap. There is a gap. It's a small gap, but there's a gap. So I'm going to keep the used pad at the front and the brand new pad at the back. So let's go underneath and see how much room we have here. And it's a bit difficult to see it on camera, but there is probably a few mil of a gap. So thankfully the wheel does go around. There's nothing stopping it. Brilliant. So it looks like for my wheels on my setup, the Girling is the better of the G60 brakes. So the Lucas probably works for everyone else, but just for these wheels and just because it is so tight, the Girling brakes are much better suited. Okay, that's brilliant. I am delighted that it's actually going around. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe over there. As always guys, thanks for watching. See you later.